competition as in past seasons. But Liverpool are starting to get their act together, and the acquisition of Michael Thomas can only strengthen their challenge. It was Gary Lineker's first game since November the 13th. And he was hoping to improve Tottenham's home record at Liverpool's expense.
There you go. And now Stewart has popped up on the left side here. Walsh! Great chance for Walsh! Nickel. Played in for Saunders, a great chance now! A terrific goal! It's 1-1. Red shirts are buzzing everywhere in this situation. Just look at them. We ought to count to see there's not more than 11 of them on the field, I would think. Nickel. Thomas. Out. Oh, Houghton, space here. Deflection, a goal.
Liverpool's third win in 3 games, and it lifted them to 4th place, relegating Manchester City to 5th. City feel Liverpool's revival hasn't been achieved against the toughest opposition, and they plan to make it very hard for Liverpool today. It's a cold and windy day in the north of England, tricky conditions for the players, but let's join Martin Tyler for some interesting team news.
Michael Thomas, Liverpool's most recent recruit at £1.5 million from Arsenal, starts his first match for his new club. A signing of such irony, really, because of the damage Thomas inflicted on Liverpool here in the last seconds of the last match of the season 2.5 years ago. Thomas's goal snatched the championship for Arsenal, sensationally taking it away from Liverpool. And now he's hoping to become the new hero for the fans he stunned on that fateful evening back in 1989. He was a substitute at Spurs on Wednesday and gets his chance today because Jan Molby has fallen victim to an ingrowing toenail. John Barnes, who hasn't played since Liverpool lost at Manchester City back in August, and Ian Rush are now only a couple of weeks away from full recovery. And Mark Walters, who's missed the last 8 games, is available again today. He's a substitute. Liverpool line up like this, with much of the spotlight on the centre of their midfield. Thomas under particular scrutiny, of course, and also Steve McMahon, for whom this afternoon's confrontation carries special significance. All week, McMahon has been on the point of leaving Liverpool for Manchester City, and today he's in direct opposition to the manager trying to sign him. Peter Reid has to put such negotiations out of his mind now. The City boss is back today as a player after 5 weeks on the sidelines with damaged ribs. Reid's return is compensation for the loss of the regular right-back Andy Hill, and there's a place again today for 19-year-old Mike Sheeran, who was born here on Merseyside and was a Liverpool fan, as were defender Steve Redmond and indeed Reid himself. It's quite a shuffle for City. Ian Brightwell moves to right-back from midfield. Adrian Heath has a deeper role today. He's been playing up front. And David White, whose goals beat Liverpool at Main Road in August, plays through the middle with Niall Quinn. Liverpool attack the Kop end in the first half. They've won their last 3 games. They've won 7 of their last 11 in league and cups. Just 1 defeat along that particular run, and that was a rather galling one at Peterborough of the 3rd Division in the Rumbelows League Cup. But the feeling is that good times are coming back to this particular corner of Merseyside where they're so used to them. But Manchester City will come here full of commitment. They'll be delighted to have Peter Reid guiding them on the pitch today. And Thomas very involved in the formative stages of this match that has particular rivalry, as do any between teams involving Manchester and Merseyside. Hughes did well. Curl. Presume that was aimed for White to chase, but wasn't particularly cultured by Keith Curl. Graham Souness disappointing. Not much room down in the Liverpool dugout. Well, it was a jump by Quinn that the linesman and referee took exception to. Manchester City have had a reasonable start to the season, but they've hit a bad patch, really. 5 league games without a win. They would feel it was imperative to get a point at least from this demanding game. Otherwise, Liverpool will join the teams above City, who are moving upwards and onwards. Burrows. Nicol has shown his versatility recently by answering the call to play wide on the left of midfield. Not usually on the right, but he's allowed to come infield when required. Saunders can line up the shot. It was an awkward one, and it's got through Coton. 9 minutes gone. A stroke of luck for Dean Saunders and for Liverpool, but a nightmare for a most capable goalkeeper. Saunders certainly hit it hard enough. When he was given room to turn here, and Reed couldn't stop the shot coming in, it dipped, but Coton should have dealt with it, but he didn't. And Saunders, who believes he's the sort of player who's a streak goal scorer, is on a hot run at the moment. It's all going his way, but not his. Dean Saunders has his 15th goal of the season. How much will that sap the Manchester City morale? Curl heads it forward. It's a free kick against Thomas. Looking for where Quinn is, and Mark Wright had the same player very much in mind to cover. But undoubtedly Tony Coton has been one of the major successes for Manchester City this season. Quinn for White, realising that Burrows was going to get across to him, took the shot early rather than trying to take it past the last outfield player. Liverpool not looking too convincing themselves, but they lead. Wright trying hard to get there first, but he's fouled Quinn. It's already developing into a key area of this match. Mark Wright has been given the responsibility to try and cope with the most awkward attacker in terms of skill in the air that the First Division has to offer. A free kick to Manchester City. Taken by Redmond, and it comes here for Sheeran. It was an instinctive catch by Grobbelaar. And the match is already living up to expectations, with a hint of vulnerability about both defences. Liverpool have been good in that respect this season. Poynton jumping at the man is penalised here. And it was a robust challenge that the referee wasn't at all impressed with. Saunders challenging Curl. that Saunders ran into Cole. Referee David Phillips is allowing the match to flow. In fact, the Liverpool fans were a bit angry, feeling that that collision off the ball might have been in their favour. McMahon and Nicol veering in from the left-hand side. Firing nearly at the point of utmost danger to Manchester City then. A thoughtful ball from Steve McMahon. Tanner's come forward for the corner, joined by Wright. Quinn has had to come back and do some defending of his own this time. It's over the back. Back from Nicol. McManaman got a call from Houghton and let the ball run wisely. Nicol retrieved that somehow. Right well, knocking it out of the penalty area for a rather anxious-looking Manchester City at the moment. Reed, who's had some good times here as an Everton player in the past. Burrows. Liverpool showing if you pass the ball, particularly on this windy afternoon, on this beautiful Anfield playing surface, really doesn't matter what the weather is. Thomas, the flag has stayed down. Manchester City not happy about that, and Thomas, oh, and Coton is still shaken by the way that he allowed Saunders to open the scoring. The goalkeeper looking a bag of nerves there. It was a really tame shot in the end by Thomas. Even-tempered characters, Ray Houghton and Adrian Heath, getting caught up in this steamy start. Liverpool might have got a second then when Coton was really a bundle of nerves as Thomas bore in on his goal. Header out by Poynton. White is furthest forward for City. He's got help to the right. McMahon, who tackles so well in midfield. Rob Jones is onside. Saunders at the far post. Poor in the middle for Liverpool, and Coton hangs on this time. And that will make him feel a great deal better. That was all started by Steve McMahon winning the ball. The commodity that Manchester City are trying to acquire in getting his services. And Rob Jones was away. The last thing they wanted to do was to concede a goal early in the game, and particularly a goal that really they would recognise shouldn't have happened. Nicely laid off by Hughes for Poynton. That came off Thomas and Quinn, old Arsenal teammates, opponents today, but an odd link-up. Thomas relieved that his header here produce a goal for Quinn. Sheeran trying to hold him up. Burrows is there. And Sheeran worked very hard. He's rather isolated at the short corner. Did Redmond touch that? Well, he certainly wanted everyone to believe that he didn't. He had no need to touch it, as it turned out, and it is a goal kick. With White. Grobbelaar. Well, did he milk that for all he could, or was there genuine anxiety here? It was Rob Jones who put it back and nearly passed Bruce Grobbelaar, who was moving out towards the defender. It was a good save. Thomas. More difficult if they lose a second goal, but they won't in this attack because the linesman again ruled in City's favour against Saunders. Actually, there was a foul there. He might have spotted by McManaman, who was holding off Curl, allowing Thomas to make the pass. Took it on the body. Cleared wide by Hughes to Heath. Manchester City showing some variety in midfield, allowing Hughes to go infield from time to time, where McMahon is at the moment. Reed. Liverpool wouldn't have been too happy then if Steve McMahon's lost the possession and cost them a goal. And this time, no dwelling. Prodded back by Curl. Here's Quinn. Oh, and Johnson right in a terrible tangle. And roaring in was Mike Sheeran. There's a post-mortem going on in there. There was no need for that for Liverpool. Once Quinn had miskicked, they really were in the driving seat. And so it seemed. The noise you're hearing is coming from the Manchester City supporters behind Grobbelaar's goal, who felt that the goalkeeper carried the ball behind for a corner. Tanner. Here's Curl. It's hot-blooded stuff in the midst of the English winter. And Saunders trying to catch out Manchester City on the counter-attack. He couldn't do it. City got back in sufficient numbers. There was a time when Dean Saunders was obviously destined to leave his previous club, Derby County, when it looked as though Main Road was where he would end up. As we've told you before, his father, Roy, played for Liverpool. Reputation gave this club the edge. Here's McManaman. Nicol leaving it for Burrows, who was coming onto the ball. Saunders pulling away on this near side. Thomas dispossessed by Brightwell. Good football from Manchester City. They've got the capacity to play like this. Can they add some penetration to their poise and their polish? To knock it back, and Liverpool have regrouped, or have they? Got behind the ball, but the marking wasn't quite spot on. And Quinn throwing his weight about again, and the referee, who's trying to show some seasonal goodwill here, might have to do more than just hand out a cautionary comment. It was a stray elbow then from Niall Quinn. Triumphs at Anfield don't come too often or too easily. City's last win here, incidentally, was a December success 10 years ago. And then on, Liverpool lost only one game in that season and won the championship. Quinn, Heath, White, they wanted to walk it in. Adrian Heath has been a long time without a First Division goal, and it rather showed then. Quinn knocked it down for him, and he didn't want to shoot. He looked for White, and really, in that decision, the chance was lost. Saunders. Well saved from McManaman. Well, Coton's doing his best to make up for his part in Liverpool taking the lead. Saunders supplying the opening this time, delightfully, for McManaman. Was looking to thread it under the goalkeeper's dive and couldn't. Pointed with the throw. And now City will have a corner. Quinn does get to it. Oh, so too does Grobbelaar. That's the closest they've come from a set play, and there was nothing Mark Wright could do about it that time. And it was Sheeran who almost fastened onto the flick. Redmond. Manchester City have responded with the sort of character that you would expect to going a goal behind here. Made it awkward for Liverpool as half-time has approached. Thomas, who was effective in the opposing half early on, is doing his work like McMahon in his own territory at the moment. It's Keith Curle. It's rousing play from the team that he captains, even though the manager is part of the starting 11 today. And he was really caught up with the success of that tackle. That's why I think he let fly. Well, it's 1-0 to Liverpool at half-time. Dean Saunders with a goal that might well have been wind-assisted. It was certainly assisted by the unfortunate Tony Coton, who would have expected to stop the shot, hard hit as it was. Just explaining there how it dipped, I would say 9 times out of 10. He made a splendid save from Steve McManaman after that. But at half-time at Anfield, it's still Liverpool 1, Manchester City 0. Manchester City start the second half. One of only 3 sides to beat Liverpool in the First Division this season. Given all the publicity about Liverpool's problems, it's a fact worth reminding you of that they've only lost 3 league games. They've not let Leeds and Manchester United slip away out of sight. And now there's a sprint on here to show just how quick Mark Wright is. He's always been blessed with a high degree of talent, above average for a central defender. But he can shift as well, and he needed to then, with White marauding into an area that was going to be dangerous to Liverpool if he got the ball. Brightwell's cross. When climbing but miscalculating. Out and miskicking. In came Heath. Now Reed. He's got Brightwell outside him. Slides it for Brightwell to cross. Can Quinn get to this one? He does. The first touch to bring the ball down. He couldn't supply the shot, which he was hoping for with the second touch. And Jones very quickly out in that battle of the youngsters on the Liverpool right and the City left against Michael Hughes. Cleared by Thomas. Well, it's a new club, a different style, and a chance for Thomas, who hasn't played for England for a couple of years, to get back in the business. But White has equalised, it's gone in. There was a moment's hesitation. I'm not sure that he hit it absolutely cleanly. And really no more than City deserve for the forceful way they played as the first half developed. And they've come out well at the start of the second, and Quinn did play a part in it, flicking it on. And White got to it, got it over Grobbelaar, and it stayed low enough for Manchester City and David White. And it was a very good finish, in fact, leaving Grobbelaar stranded. Here's Hughes. David White takes his tally to 10. And the player who got 2 at Liverpool's expense at Main Road in August and won the game that day has brought Manchester City back into the picture again here. 1-1. It's really set up the second half. The second half that's only run 4 minutes. Quinn. two up for Liverpool, the same two, Saunders and McManaman. Poynton was a bit fortunate then. He was trying to steer the ball wide of Saunders, played it against him, and hence the goal kick. Quinn headed it out. Wright certainly made contact at the back of Quinn with the ball. McManaman. Some of the fluidity that Liverpool showed in the last two league games against Forest and Spurs, both of which they won, of course. Manchester City are doing a very good job at preventing. They're harassing, they're challenging whenever possible, they're causing consternation on the Liverpool bench, and more importantly on the pitch as well, to the team that Souness has put out this afternoon. And White will reach it. Where's it going to drop? It's dropped into the net. And it's another 2 goals showing at Liverpool's expense from David White. He scored twice in 7 minutes at the start of the second half, and this was a superb lob over the stranded Grobbelaar, and it's Liverpool 1, Manchester City 2. The goal certainly didn't look on here. Quinn didn't touch it this time, but distracted Tanner, but White made something out of nothing. An amazing turnaround. Not that Liverpool were resting on their laurels, they surely had recognised danger signs before the half-time whistle. But they've been forced back in front of their own supporters, and David White has been dynamite here. Bruce Grobbelaar has to take it all on the chin. For Liverpool, a missed kick from Wright. Manchester City have found the penetration that they couldn't provide before half-time. They stopped Liverpool dominating in midfield as they did for an early spell. Sheeran. Curl can work it back to Coton, who'll be feeling a great deal better, because whatever happens, the first goal of the game, the Dean Saunders goal, will not decide it. Poynton offside, it's White, not Heath who gets to the ball. David White. You can understand if he's lost his concentration for a moment. His head must be spinning. McMahon. Saunders. Tried to chase what looked a fairly hopeless cause, and for his effort is rather being derided by the City supporters. Now Steve McMahon is coming off to be replaced by Mark Walters. We must await developments on the transfer front. McMahon has taken 1 or 2 supposedly final bows already over the past few days, and they haven't turned out that way. In fact, could be that for Steve McMahon as a Liverpool player. Mark Walters, who's been out for 8 games with injury. Hasn't had a reserve match to sharpen him up. He's being told to come on here and help sort it out for Liverpool. Peter Reid's blue and white army is the cry, and the troops are responding to orders. But never rule out the Reds. Thomas. Attacking a goal where he scored the most famous goal he's ever likely to contribute. City can't smuggle it away. Back comes McManaman. Thomas. Curl. Not very far. Retrieved by Rob Jones. Who takes on Reid and gets the better of him. And Brightwell spares the embarrassment of the player-manager then, who couldn't prevent the cross. Puts it back virtually where it's come from. It'll be another corner. With 15 minutes gone. A superb second half unfolding, particularly at the moment for Manchester City. Should still be Liverpool's ball, although on the retreat. Still City holding firm, but it's becoming more difficult for them. Walters. Quinn at the moment coming to help out in midfield. Burrows has got a chance for a cross now. Saunders has to turn, and he did very well to get that close. Saunders spinning, shooting, and very nearly scoring. Steve McManaman, who's worked so hard, is replaced by Mike Marsh, who's not much older than McManaman. He's 22. We're down to the final 10 minutes now. Liverpool at least can point to a spell in which they've just started to impose themselves. A foot raised by Heath. And David Phillips has reached for the notebook this time, and a card is going to be shown. He's not happy about it. Really intent there, and that was very definitely dangerous play. Jones, Outman, in fact damaged by his challenge. He's lucky. Walters, and now it's Sheeran. Becoming more difficult for Manchester City to defend. Quick free kick by Liverpool, taken by Walters. Marsh still trying to come to terms with the pace of the game. Walters gets in the cross. Nicol propped up at the near post. He's due a goal. He's not scored for 9 months. Marsh, and here comes Nicol! He's got a goal! 2-2. Splendidly timed by Steve Nicol in several senses. It was a very well-timed run to meet a lovely cutback from Marsh. It was a very well-timed shot. And given the reference to his lack of goals over the last few months, he came in on cue. Predict the outcome now. Well, he's a bit happier. And there's still time to win it. Thomas. And now Marsh, and now Walters. Manchester City in danger of caving in here. Walters is injured. He damaged himself in putting full power into the shot. Is it a recurrence? Right, climbing on Quinn. Properly punished a free kick to Manchester City. Two and a half minutes to go, plus stoppage time. By Redmond, back from Reed. Kovalar being told to get rid of it quickly by the supporters on the Kop. But I think he's got rid of it too quickly. Although Saunders is making a valiant effort to get there and was being impeded by Poynton. But the referee's ruling is a throw. Operating with 10 men now. The time Coaten is taking suggests that City would be satisfied with a point. I'm sure that would have been the case before the game began, but when you're 2-1 up going into the last 10 minutes, an equaliser comes as a great disappointment. To lose another goal would be a disaster. That's what Liverpool are looking for. Well, brought out well by Sheeran. If they pass it properly here, Manchester City could be in. White, Quinn's gone to the far post. Sheeran's in the middle as well. The linesman is flagging, and it won't be a corner. It will be a free kick to Liverpool. But another move rather in keeping with the pace and unrelenting drama here at Anfield. Very nearly over. Jones, Thomas, Marsh, and Pearl going in with studs showing. There's one more test for Manchester City to pass before they make the short journey home with some reward from Anfield. And Graham Souness recognises this perhaps as the last chance. It would be right out of the Liverpool book if they were to come up with a winner. Burrows, brave, defending at the wall. Redmond, away from the goal was the message, and he's done that at the cost of a corner. Nicol to take it. We're into stoppage time. Oh, and Coaten looked as though he was going to catch it, and then didn't. And there's no time for another corner to be taken. Honours even between Merseyside and Manchester here. Great game, and a terrific finale to it. Dean Saunders started, way back in the 9th minute. But David White had a very significant say early in the second half with 2 goals in 7 minutes. And it looked as the game edged towards its final whistle, but that will be enough for Manchester City, but never rule out Liverpool. Steve Nicol, 9 months without a goal, roared on to a Mike Marsh cutback to make it 2-2.